From the After 9 podcast studios, this is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Wait, did you see Jesus's package?
What? No, what are you saying?
You said Jesus, it's the way God intended it.
Yeah,
and
I
then
said
something about Jesus in a package.
Yeah, I said God intended for Jesus to be the package.
Oh.
I wasn't talking about
Well, that
Jesus'
makes
package.
sense.
That's what are you talking?
Hello, friends.
Whoa.
Hi, welcome to it. Dave Lazard is here, talking about packages.
I am not.
No, we really were talking about packages, though. We were talking about Canada Post. There's a few things we want to talk about. We will talk a bit about sports because the Jays are in the news. And if you're a Jays fan, you know what we're about to say. But I want to get Dave Lazard's opinion on this, too. And Canada Post is what we will lead with. Oh, and I also want to talk about Jay-Z. Guys, it happened. I told you guys his name would be named, and it was. And I'm not surprised.
Was his the name you were waiting on, or was it just a name?
Him specifically.
Really?
And you know what? There's another celebrity involved in this particular suit, but I could see, there's a few names that I think could be named.
There's one name that I keep hearing that I think would be very bad, even if there's no connection to it. But if this is the name that was announced, Jay-Z's in a lot of trouble. R. Kelly is the name I keep hearing.
Oh, and R. Kelly could have easily been involved.
And if it's Diddy and R. Kelly, well, Jay-Z being associated.
Yes.
Not a good look. It's probably not. I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions. I can't assume guilt out of the guy for any means, but
let's just do this here. Let's just do it here because when you mentioned that too, it reminded me of something else that I'm kind of waiting to hear. But Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, they've both been accused in the latest assault filing against, both of them now. You should just be Diddy, but here we are. This is a woman who was a teenager in the early 2000s, just known as Jane Doe. She says there were drugs involved. It happened after the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards when she was invited to an after party. The judge is allowing the woman to remain anonymous for reasons that were not disclosed. Some of these people are going to have to name their own names if they want. But again, I don't know why, but for some reason, she'll remain a Jane Doe. It says another celebrity was involved, but is not named, that was there and watching. In response, Jay-Z's rep labeled this lawsuit a blackmail attempt. Jay-Z also hopped on the Rock Nation social pages, saying that the lawyer in this case, being Tony Busby, who's launching a bunch of lawsuits here, is deplorable and that he was feeling heartbreak for his wife, Beyonce, and their 3 kids. So if you want to see that, you can check it out on Rock Nation. But when it comes to these suits, we should let you guys know it's not the same as the FBI's. The whole trial, actually, that's going to take place next year. That is not it. This is a separate lawsuit that and many lawsuits have been launched against Diddy, and now it's just that Jay-Z has been named. But I was waiting on Jay-Z's name. I was wondering if Beyonce would be named as someone who's present. Not necessarily acting, but present.
Ooh, but there.
But in the year 2000, they were not together, though. So it's not like she would have been like, yeah, Jay, do it, and she's there. People still wonder if Beyonce was a bit of a victim when it comes to Jay-Z, if any of this is true, because she was a teenager when they got together.
Yeah, she was a teenager when they met. Now there's some, and I hate to do this. I don't want to put. I don't want to put credibility into like people who go into these rabbit holes online, because there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, or there's a lot of things that you have to draw your own conclusion for. And when you do that too many times, then you've just decided what happened without actually looking into what happened.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to paint the picture of it all and connect all the dots, you're actually making it worse because you're not accurate, or you may not be accurate. But if you may, but you also may be bang on and just not know.
I know it's hard to say.
But there's tons. Anyway, this one rabbit hole I kind of fell into was tons of old video clips of Jay-Z talking about Beyonce and how the timeline of when they got together doesn't match up, and how old she was when they first started dating doesn't quite match up. And she has said different dates in certain interviews and things like that.
She said 16, 17, and 18, and 19, I think. So that's like a 4-year gap. Like, choose how old you were.
And then there's people posting like Jay-Z lyrics from back in the day that are a little questionable. But oof. This is not, it doesn't look like it's going to end well either way.
I think so too.
With this person that has, I guess, made the claims, Jay-Z is suggesting that it's a blackmail attempt, and he's going to fight the whole thing, obviously. But the damage is done, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You know, people are looking at him differently now going, what were you up to?
This is well, here's the interesting part about it too. The other layer to this was that he had the chance to, there's a reason why his lawyer is calling this blackmail. he had a chance to pay this person off to go away before the suit was filed. And just so you know, this has happened multiple times where Tony Busby, the lawyer, has said other A-listers have already paid off these people. They're giving them the opportunity to do it, which, by the way, I think is wrong. Like, if these people are going to come forward and say they're victims, and let's assume they are, name them. You say your name. You say their name. Like, show us all the cards, right? If you're going to do this.
Well, I the only pushback I'll give to that is the unhinged response to people online.
They are unhinged.
Because they don't know what happened. They don't know the story. Victim blaming because people are fans of these people. Like, if you're a Jay-Z fan, I saw it firsthand with Nick Carter. Remember what happened with Nick Carter?
Yes, that's right.
And there was the woman who had claimed some inappropriate behavior by Nick Carter. I'm not going to go into details, but
she was in a band at the same time that was popular at the same time as the Backstreet Boys at one point.
Yeah. So, and when I don't mean to make it light by saying, you know, there was allegations. I just don't want to go into it. Like, So I'm just leaving.
So there were
it
allegations. Fine.
Yeah, there's allegations, and I certainly don't want to make light of them. But the fandom came after that person and was immediately like, "You're doing this for this, and you're trying to." Their blind fandom makes them think that their favorite is infallible. Like, they can't make any mistakes. So. And again, I wasn't there. I can't say anything for Nick Carter. I can't say anything for Jay-Z. I can't say anything for Diddy or any of these people.
Yeah.
But if they're up to that business, well, it's not the victim's fault. And if the victim is hurt and has been hurt by all this negativity for all these years, that fear of coming forward is real, because they end up taking the shrapnel from fans in a way that is so unfair and just, it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt them because they were victims. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then now, you know, I keep hearing it over and over again, the whole thing about, you know, victims should come forward right away. And sure, that's all well and good, but look at how people don't believe victims.
Yeah.
There's so many times a victim has to say, I just can't handle this backlash.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just not worth it for me to say anything. Sometimes it's about position of power. Sometimes it's a position in a workplace where it's happened and now you don't want to say anything in fear of losing your job. Like, there's all kinds of different reasons why you might not say something. And in this case, coming out all these years later, I think you might have said, well, I'm stuck and there is no way anything will ever be done with this. And then now you're seeing some justice being served, or you're seeing Diddy in trouble for some of the things that he did. And this person's probably going, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
And I was in fear for all these years, but now I see justice being served.
Well, yeah. And from what we hear from these stories too, alleged everything. Now can we just say that everything we're saying is alleged if we are talking about anything specific? But a lot of the time it was scary. It was threatening of their life.
Yeah.
In one particular suit that was launched, which was the worst thing I ever read, and I wish I didn't read the details of this particular suit. It happened to a woman at the hotel room, allegedly, again, with Sean Diddy Combs being present and someone else, an unnamed other celebrity, which I wonder if some of these people will be inspired to name other celebrities. What happened to her is awful, and it was, extremely embarrassing, but her life was threatened. Like, if you tell anyone, I will kill you and I will kill everyone you know. So you don't really know what it's like until you're in that position, if that's true, right?
Horrible.
It is horrible.
All of it. All of it's gross. It's abuse of power. It's abuse of, this level of celebrity where you think you're above the law. And,
but I think things will change because of it, right? You look at the powerful people now, and I even think about, I'm going to name a name that I'm wondering if it's going to come up here, but Ellen. You look at the likes of Ellen, who is such a powerful person in Hollywood. People turn on her real quick, by the way, which is always interesting. It's almost worth a study to figure out, because like you said, there's celebrity fandom that'll absolutely defend that person. And then a lot of people were quick to let go of Ellen, I found too. But Ellen's another question mark in some of these, but not named, I should say, not named at all. But you look at the power that these people have, and sometimes maybe they don't even realize that power is getting to a point where it's becoming inappropriate. And now this is a completely different story than Ellen being toxic in her workplace.
Yeah.
However, it's an interesting study anyway when it comes to people with power. We will move on to Canada Post, though. Let's talk about packages. It looks as though it's been, by the way, I think today marks 26 days since the postal strike. And although it only apparently only less than half of people in Canada say that they feel affected by it, it's definitely affecting those workers who were temporarily laid off as well, over 55,000 of them. They're awaiting a formal response, Canada Post is, from the Union of Postal Workers as we record this pod anyway. It was submitted to the union on Friday, but apparently from the inside, we're hearing that they didn't like the proposal. So I think that this is going to carry on for a little while longer. So no Christmas cards. I guess it gives you an excuse if you're behind on doing Christmas cards. Like for me, I would actually mail stuff out this time of year.
You know, the only person that has really come to me and said, this is a major problem is my grandmother, because she sends us cards every year.
And now she feels bad, right?
Yeah. And she's like, how am I supposed to do that? And and she's like, I'm just going to bring them with me to Christmas. And I was like, you could have done that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, sure. No pressure, right? No pressure to get stamps.
Because she'll send me a Christmas card a week ahead of Christmas, and then I see her Christmas.
It's true.
But that's tradition for her. That's the way she's always done it.
You know what? And my mother-in-law is kind of similar in that way, where she's like, she has to send the Christmas card in the mail. Yeah. She could see us 15 times before Christmas, but she's got to mail the card out. And
I joke about it, and I bust chops on it, but the truth is, the day that stops, I'll be super sad.
Yeah, right? Because you kind of get used to getting the cards in the mail if you do.
The mail from my grandmother is now the only mail I look forward to at all, because it's bills. Yeah. It's somebody wanting your money. It's somebody asking you to donate to something. Yeah. It's somebody asking you to, pay off this, pay off that. Oh, hey, would you like a credit line? It's all that mail. Or it's somebody wants to do my windows, or somebody wants to do this in the neighborhood. And
coupon clipper.
Yeah. Hey, we're
which aren't bad, by the way. I mean, I don't mind a good coupon every now and again.
We're aerating all of the lawns in the neighborhood. Yeah. Would you like to also aerate your lawn for $300?
Well, now they're going to come to your door.
Exactly.
Except for not this time of year. You're safe for aerating lawns, I think, right now.
Well, the only thing I was excited about getting is mail from my grandma.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed that I'm not getting it yet, but she will hand it to me at Christmas, I'm sure. In an envelope that she intended to mail. She probably will hand me an envelope with a stamp.
I was wondering that. I was going to ask, and your address on it?
I bet you she will.
Yeah, that's adorable. Hey, we hope for the best for these workers, too. I hope that you get what you're asking for and what you deserve, most definitely. I wanted to ask you about how you feel, and I know the answer is probably sad or disappointed, but the signing that was not to the Jays, but a massive, massive contract.
Oh, yeah. Juan Soto, the biggest free agent in baseball, signs with the New York Mets, which was one of the rumored teams in the last conversations that Juan Soto was having. So he played for the Mets. He also played for he played for the Yankees. He played for the Nationals. He's 41 home runs last year, I think, and he hit over 100 RBIs, or got over 100 runs batted in, and it was a very good year, very, very good year, and he would be a great player on any team, and the Jays were trying to get him. The Jays ponied up a ton of money for him too, like over $700 million was their offer. Yeah. Over like 15-year average, I think, something like that.
15-year deal to $765 million.
Yeah, so and that's what he ended up with the Mets.
With the Mets.
It's 16 years. So
Jays came close to that, so it's not like they didn't try.
No, and that's the thing, is that it's immediately and very easy to just start yelling at the management of the Blue Jays, because fans have been frustrated with them for quite a while. And I understand why. There's plenty of good reason to be frustrated with them, but I don't think you can blame them for this, because $700 million is a lot of money. And they went to the owners and said, we need this money. And they said, go ahead. If you can get them, sign them. And they tried, and it just didn't work out because he had another offer elsewhere. But I mean, come on. If a guy is in a position to turn down $700 million, you can't be mad at the attempt.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Like, you got to give it up to them. They tried, and it just didn't work out.
It's
so now you got to sign Vlad.
And baseball doesn't have a cap, right? Remind me, because I'm used to hockey, which has a cap.
They have a luxury tax. So if your salaries go up over certain amounts, it's based on the math of your business and everything like that. And there's revenue sharing in Major League Baseball and things like that as well. So there's there's a luxury tax that you pay if you go over a certain amount, but there's no hard cap.
No hard cap. Okay.
No. And that's why people in baseball can sign $750 million deals that get stretched out over 15 years.
Yes, it's outrageous. Like, that'll never happen in the world of hockey, for example. Like, I feel like even if they added to the cap, like, insanity. All right, well, the Mets are probably going to win something soon. Good for them.
Maybe. Well, one player doesn't make a team, but he is a terrific player.
And people get injured. Not to say he's going to, but people get injured. Things happen.
Absolutely.
Right? So you never know. So I learned this morning, I didn't realize this because I knew you were a fan of Home Alone, but you're also a fan of the Muppets Christmas movie, which I've never seen.
If you're gonna say it, get it right.
I'm sorry. The Muppets. What's it called? The Christmas with the Muppets.
No,
Christmas
that's
time,
not what it's called.
Christmas time with Muppety Boo.
Nope.
Is that it?
Nope.
The Muppets Take Christmas.
Nope.
The Mups.
No.
At Christmas time.
No, it's not the Mups. No one's ever called them the Mups. That's not a real thing at all.
What's it called?
It's the Muppet Christmas Carol.
The Muppets Christmas Carol. Is they're singing in that then?
Yes, they're singing in it. Michael Caine is in it, and he's the most serious actor of all time in this movie. It's so great because he's like acting with puppets, these little Muppets running around, and he is like the world-class trained actor that he is. And in this movie, he is Scrooge.
Yeah.
He's treating it like it's Shakespeare.
Oh.
And then there's Gonzo running around or Fozzie Bear, and you're like,
it's the one with the long nose.
The
hook nose?
Just go.
The hook nose?
Just
guy?
go watch it.
Is that Gonzo?
Yes, it's Gonzo.
Okay, I know. I don't, you know what? I watched, growing up, I remember watching The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I never got into the Christmas one. So anyway, I need to watch it, says Dave. I will. But I know you and I have in common around this time of year, Home Alone.
Gonzo plays Charles Dickens, by the way. So it's really
Hook Nose is Dickens. Got it.
Wow, that's rude.
It's a Muppet. It's not a human. It's fine.
Do you think he likes that nickname?
He's a Muppet. The Home Alone movie. Okay, so we both watch Home Alone. We love it. Fine. The other ones are trash, right? Just the first and second. Like just the first one and then Lost in New York and then the rest are trash.
They made 6 of them.
They made 6.
They made 6 different Home Alone movies.
I didn't watch the other ones, but you know what's crazy is that people got really wildly defensive over text when I initially said the other movie's meh. People are like, no, you got to watch the third movie. It's actually really good, even though Macaulay Culkin's not in it, and neither is Catherine O'Hara, right?
It's not good.
It can't be good.
I don't know what we're talking about. It's not a good. No.
Well. Listen, I think this is exciting news, if there's any truth to it, but it's actually Macaulay Culkin that's stirring up the rumors. So Macaulay Culkin kind of went away for a while. Now, when I was growing up, when I was a wee girl growing up in Galt, Ontario, Macaulay Culkin, for a little while there, like a very short-lived while, was like considered like a hot guy. Like he was like on the cover of Teen Beat. You'd have Macaulay Culkin right next to Jonathan Taylor Thomas for a short while, right? And we all know he was in a bunch of other movies, not just Home Alone, of course, but he still goes back to his roots with Home Alone in the commercial for Google. And there's another commercial. Uber also has another commercial out this year where he goes back to that role of Kevin McAllister. Well, so he's asked about it often, now that he's kind of come back into the spotlight a little bit, about a potential return to the character. And recently, he made people really excited that are fans of Home Alone. He says, in the past, there have been past attempts. This is not a direct quote from him, but basically I'm telling you, he said, in past attempts did not materialize. But now that he's a dad, he seems to think it would be kind of fun for his kids to watch the characters come back. Maybe as the dad or in a dad-like role in the movie franchise. So fans are eagerly awaiting any news to this on a possible new Home Alone movie. I'm a fan.
I'm going through the other movies that they made, though. Like Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Yes, we know those ones. Home Alone 3 came out in 97. So that one was actually 5 years after the second one. Home Alone 3, can I just give you the description of the movie?
Synopsis? Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that.
When an 8-year-old Alex Pruitt is left home alone with chicken pox, he's in for the battle of his life against a gang of spies who hid a dangerous computer chip inside a toy car. Alex notices the spies breaking into his neighbor's house and sets out to defend his community with plenty of booby traps and tricks, of course.
So I think that's the kid from, I gotta look it up. Is that not the kid from Liar Liar that's
Alex
in that movie?
D. Linz is the name of the kid. I don't know if it's the same kid.
Maybe
I don't think it is.
Story. It looks like him though. Blonde. No, Justin Cooper played Max Reed. Okay, got it.
Well, do you want? Okay, so Home Alone 4 is where it gets kind of twisty here.
Yeah, tell me that one.
In this,
I haven't seen any of these ones.
Well, this is weird. So number 4 it came out in 2002. This is a really weird one.
Is that a different kid or is that the same kid?
Okay, well, here's where it gets weird. So it's the same family. It's the McAllister family, but all of the cast members have been replaced.
Oh, that's stupid. That's where I'm like, I don't like that at all.
It's the same characters. So in Home Alone 4, Kevin McAllister tries to deal with his parents' divorce while also working to finally put his arch enemies in jail once and for all. He's got a lot to juggle, but thankfully, he's got some high-tech gear to help him.
No.
And then there was another one made in 2012, so a decade later, and that seems to be like No, that's not even the last one. There was another one made in 2011.
Oh, really?
And this one is the
I feel like I saw that one. The one in 2011, Home Alone 2011. I got to look it up. So Ellie Kemper, by the way, is in one of them. Ellie Kemper's in The Office. For those who don't know, she's the redhead.
And she's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
She's so good in that. Okay. So this is going to be completely different, though, in that I think they're going to pretend like those don't exist, as they should.
Well, they have to. But this is a fun one. A fun fact about Home Sweet Home Alone.
Home Sweet Home Alone,
which came out in 2011, is apparently some of the original cast is in the movie as well. I'd have to go back and see. I don't know. I don't know which ones they are.
Sweet Home Alone cast. I'm looking this up. So you mentioned it too, to me, not on the pod now, but before, that Mikey Day was involved in Home Sweet Home Alone.
The most, is it that one?
Yeah,
No.
He's in it though. Mikey Day is in that movie.
Oh, wait a second. I just screwed up the years. Home Alone: The Holiday Heist was 2012. Home Sweet Home Alone was 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the one Mikey Day is involved in. So Mikey Day is on SNL. He was one of the screenwriters.
And Is It Cake?
Oh,
we
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah,
we
right,
watch Is It Cake in my house, the holiday edition right now. We're just burning through it. My kids love that show.
So there's been a ton of them. There's been, if they go back, they're gonna, I don't know, could they go back and explore the divorce? I don't know. I think the actor who played the dad has passed away since, right?
Maybe. But the cool thing about Catherine O'Hara is she seems to not be, like, she seems to be totally fine revisiting characters. I mean, she did it for Beetlejuice. And I have no doubt, they're friends, by the way, so they talk. Catherine O'Hara, who, for those who don't know, just semi-recently, I think it was this year, helped to give Macaulay Culkin his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was actually the main speaker. So I feel like it's a possibility. Let me run through this list here. So John Hurd is who you were talking about. He did pass away. I mean, we've got Joe Pesci still kicking around.
Yeah, he could do it.
It's a possibility, is all I'm saying. And Kieran Culkin would maybe do it too. Would maybe step in as well.
He was the little brother. He was
the youngest, like the tiny little what's his name again in the movie? But anyway,
he's the kid who wets the bed.
He's the kid who wets Fuller.
Yeah.
Fuller. Anyway.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Oh my God.
You're choking on John Candy.
I got choked up because of John Candy. Anyway, okay. Maybe that's our cue to end this now.
You're in tears because of John Candy.
Oh my God, I choked on nothing. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah. Okay, well, while you recover, the one last thing I wanted to mention too was because we've talked about being Bills fans on the pod many times.
Oh, do this.
Josh Allen, clearly going to be the MVP this year. He's a quarterback for the Bills. He ran in 3 touchdowns on Sunday. He threw for 3 touchdowns on Sunday, which is an NFL record. No NFL quarterback has ever done 3 and 3. And they still lost, which is such a Buffalo Bills from a few years ago kind of thing. I really hope they get this out of their system in time for the playoffs and then just run through the table. Just go through everybody in the playoffs. But they need to get this stuff out of the way now. They lost. How does that guy score 6 touchdowns and you still don't win?
That tells you that it's a team effort.
It sure is.
Right? Like, it's a team effort to win, and it's a team effort to lose.
You win as a team, you lose as a team.
It is the case. Sorry, Bills fans. That's too bad. All I know, by the way, about him is that he's engaged to Haley Steinfeld.
No, is that what you know? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Recent engagement was good for his game.
They got engaged during their bye week.
Yeah, cute.
So that's
well,
great.
That's the time to do it. That's what they say.
Come back and lose.
During the bye week, anything could happen.
Another player on the Bills got engaged during the bye week as well.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not at the same time, not at the same place.
No, okay. Well, that you know of. On the show, by the way, this week, we're giving away Kendrick Lamar and SZA tickets if you guys want to check that out. Energy 95.3 and also 91.5 The Beat, 5:30 to 9:30. For now, we're out, though. Bye.
A woman has filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of assault and dangling her off a 17-story balcony, which is just incredible grip strength for a guy coated in baby oil.